All right, y'all, let's do this. Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel and welcome to a video that I specifically said I was never going to do because of how long it might take. But I decided for Halloween this year, since I don't have a whole lot of videos coming out right now, I would sit down and do a tier list for every single VHS segment. There are 8 VHS movies, and if the count came out right, 37 VHS segments that we are going to go through and rank. Here is my whiteboard with the ranking system, S to F. And then I have a notebook, handy dandy notebook, with every single segment written down. And it has a little note next to it, just in case I forget which one is which. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with the first movie and just go through each movie, each segment, chronological order. And I'm going to rank them from S to F. For those of you who don't know how the tier list system works, S is the highest, it's the best. It means top tier, can't get any better than that. F is obviously the worst. Dante the Great. No, I'm kidding. We're not on VHS Viral just yet. And then of course it's, A, B, C. It's like school grades, right? A, B, C, D, and F are school grades. You know how those go. A is good. B is okay, but not as good. C is right in the middle. D is starting to get bad. And F is, again, Dante the Great. I'm going to stop. And then S, for some reason, was added as the best. There's also like S+. We're not going to go that far. So we're going to start with the first VHS movie. We're going to jump in after that minute-and-a-half intro. And I'm going to do these just like I've been doing my VHS reviews, which I did for Beyond and Halloween. Go check those out. Cheap plug. Where I talk about the wraparound first as its own thing. Because you got to push all those together, right? The wraparound is its own film along with the rest of it. So the wraparound for the first movie was Tape 56. The first 2 VHS wraparounds, they're fine. They're just the ones where people go look for tapes, and stuff does happen in them. The first one, the wraparound, is these sleazy jerkwads heading into this house. Excuse me. And they watch the tapes and they disappear or die one by one. And there's like a undead man in there who keeps disappearing from the couch. He kills them one by one. It's decent. It sets off the VHS franchise, obviously. I actually don't think this one's that good. It's fine, but I rewatched some reviews and the kill counts, obviously, recently before I did this video. And as they mentioned, a lot of these, they're bad people. They're sleazy. They pull up women's shirts and try to sneak shots of them and stuff. They're just gross guys, and a lot of them die off screen. One guy's head does get thrown around, but again, he just kind of dies off screen. Tape 56, I don't think is that good in my opinion. However, it's the first, so I think that gives it a little bit of a free pass. I think it goes in the middle. And since I don't have anyone to, it's not like me and another person on this, I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to put it as a C tier. It's fine, and it's the framing narrative, obviously, but in the grand scheme, I don't think it's that good, but it's not terrible either. So I'm going to write Tape 56 here on the C tier, and I didn't write it all the way tall so I can fit more in there just in case. So Tape 56, the wraparound for the first VHS, is a C tier. For the record, I didn't say this in the opening, I have not thought about this at all. All I did was write all this shit down and then forgot about it. That way I'm doing this in this video. This is the first time I'm just doing this right now instead of trying to figure it out beforehand. The first actual short that we ever watch in the VHS series is Amateur Night. You guys know Amateur Night. It's the girl, I like you. It's the succubus who slowly throughout the night is following the one guy and then kills all the others. Her face splits open. She has that full transformation. It's all beautiful. It's all fantastic. I really want to put this as the first S tier because, it's so good. I've never seen anyone say anything bad about it. It's a bunch of sleazy dirtbags, and that was the feeling of the first movie. And while that sucks, the acting is really good. Most of the acting is really good. The one guy who has to act super drunk, I feel like he might have overdid it. But I've been super drunk before, and that may be how I act when I'm super drunk. But nonetheless, the acting is really good for the most part. And then the character design for Lily, and then of course it spun off the movie, which obviously I'm not covering the spin-offs, or there was a even shorter version of this. It was video horror series. I don't know. I missed it. But the point is, this one is way up there. I think I'm not going to stand on ceremony. I think I should put it as S. I don't see a reason not to. Like I said, everyone likes it. I'm in a found footage group on Facebook, and people talk about Amateur Night all of the time. People love this segment. I love this segment. I'll decide to watch the VHS movies, watch Amateur Night, and get bored. Not that I don't like the rest of the movie. It's like, this is perfect. I should get around to watching Siren. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it up here. I may have to pause the video from time to time to write some of these because some of the titles, we'll get there in a minute. But there we go. Amateur Night, first S tier. We went from C to S just like that. Up next, Second Honeymoon. This is the one where a couple is filming their like vacation, and every now and again there's somebody filming them at night, holding knives to them or whatever. And in the end, it turns out that this woman that asked for help or something, she was like supposed to be a trucker. Whatever. Turns out she was the guy's girlfriend or husband's lesbian lover, and she comes in another night, stabs the guy in the neck a bunch of times, and then they leave. It's fine. It's good. It's creepy. Again, though, I think this one might be a C as well. It might be a B. Tape 56 only got C because it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't really hit as good as it did the first time I watched it. My expectations are now super high for VHS movies. And I don't think when it comes to the wraparounds, it actually might be, well, it's not the weakest wraparound. Otherwise, I would have put it a lot lower. But it's much weaker than a lot of the other wraparounds. Whereas, Amateur Night, Second Honeymoon, that's what it is. It's Second Honeymoon. God, I'm such an idiot. It's fine, and it does have a good vibe as far as scary, like a scary vibe, because this person keeps breaking into their house, steals their money, all that shit. And then the kill, first time I saw it, it made me go, because it's so visceral because the camera's right in this guy's face as she stabs him in the neck and like slices his neck open. So I do think it deserves a B. And then I'm going to put Second Honeymoon into B because it is better than Tape 56, but I don't think it's, it still stands up. Like, it's still good, but as a tier list, I think B is perfect for Second Honeymoon. Next up is Tuesday the 17th. I love this one. I feel like I'm going to end up filling out all the letters in the first one. Well, probably not. But Tuesday the 17th is the girl that takes her friends out to this lake where a bunch of people died, and there keeps being a glitch where you see dead bodies from the last time people were up here, and she admits to you figure out what's going on. This glitch monster that you don't get a good look at because he only glitches in and out of the screen. You can never get a good look at him. Kills everybody. The kills were really gory. Somebody's insides got ripped out. I'm pretty sure that was the main character of this one. Which, that's the thing about VHS movies. There's never happy endings in these. Everybody fucking dies usually. But this one, again, great gore, great acting, the creature work with like a glitching character. I thought that was really cool. The reason I made a joke about filling out all the letters in the first round, but looking back, that's probably not going to happen, is because now we're probably going to go to A. While it is really good, I don't know if I can confidently put it at S tier with Amateur Night. If you're going to ask me why, my answer is I don't know. It's just a feeling, right? It's a feeling in my chest, my gut, my heart, my feet, whatever, where I'm just like, I don't know if it belongs in S tier. This is a brilliant movie. It is really good. Like, I have a hard time finding issues with it. The death of the main girl and having her guts ripped out from like the view of the glitch monster because he's like grabs the camera, that's probably one of the things that knocks it down, just because I feel like that's overkill for no reason. And I get it. It's the first VHS movie. They're trying to do like shock and horror and whatever. But that probably takes it out of S tier for me. Other than that, it's fine. Plus, it's part of the first VHS movie, which is, overly gross. There's lots of like trying to zoom into like boobs or whatever. And people are going to be like, oh, so you're gay. No, it's just unnecessary. I don't have a problem with nudity in horror movies, but this first movie, they really pushed all that kind of stuff. So I am going to put Tuesday the 17th as an A, which is a good thing. That's still a good score. Like, before S existed, A was the top. So there you go. Tuesday 17th is an A. So we have an S, A, B, and C already. Next was the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. Shorter titles, guys. I don't think there's a title even close to that long after this. But I just wrote the sick thing that happened to Emily. This is the one where somebody's doing a Skype call with his girlfriend. And like you're seeing it from her camera. So she's the full screen, he's the small screen. And creepy stuff keeps happening to her. And then eventually she thinks it's ghosts. Eventually she gets like knocked out. It turns out that the little kid ghosts she saw were aliens. And this guy is helping her. Helping them harvest eggs in her, because it turns out he's not living thousands of miles away. He's living like in a building or the same apartment building or whatever. It's scary. It's interesting. The end is gross because he has to cut an alien baby out of her, and then you watch him break her arm or something, so that it's so she thinks she had a crazy psychotic episode, and then it ends with him talking to another woman. And once again, there's lots of boobs. This one's good too. I like the premise. I like the fact that we had an alien storyline of some kind. I always forget what this one's about. If I don't watch VHS for a really long time, I watch this one, I remember the guy, I know what he's doing, I know the kids are there, but my brain tends to leave out some of the details, which I think is good, because it's always a scary reminder. I write really big, so it's going to be hard to do this, but I think a lot of stuff is going to end up in the A tier. Again, I don't see a reason for this not to be an A. I'm just going to write Emily. This is really good. The first VHS really did set the standards. Once again, the fact that this movie focused so much on boobs, it just kind of makes me go, well, what's the point? Even if I was one of those guys, which I'm non-binary, I don't even identify as a dude, even if I was one of those guys, at some point it has to be the law of diminishing returns, right? Like, you can see boobs and more boobs and more boobs, but eventually you're going to be like, are we going to see boobs again? Yep, there's boobs. Oh, well. So, Emily, the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger, ends up in the A tier with Tuesday the 17th. And we finish with 10/31/98, which this is why I said what I said about how a lot of them may end up in the A tier, because this one's really good too. This one is really good. This group of guys goes to a party. There's no one there, and they think it's like a haunted, like it's a prank haunted house. Then they end up seeing things that don't make any sense. They find a ritual that they interrupt, which causes a bunch of people to get sucked into another dimension, and people die. The house comes alive, and they end up trapped on train tracks. It's great, great stuff. Especially when the girl they tried to save ends up teleporting out of the car. So this one, again, I don't want to overreact, but this is my video, my channel. 10/31/98 might also belong in S tier, to be honest with you, because it's perfect. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. All these other ones, I was able to explain for the most part, other than just a feeling, why they didn't belong any higher than they did. But when it comes to 10/31/98, much like Amateur Night, it's perfect. The acting is perfect for 3 random guys at a party. The ritual stuff, when they find the ritual and they start chanting along thinking it's part of the party. And then the sudden scares of people getting screwed up or whatever. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable putting 10/31/98 at S tier. It's pretty much perfect. No, it is perfect. I can't find anything wrong with 10/31/98. Obviously, I have a massive, massive love for this movie. We're 14 minutes into this video. I'm really biased when it comes to VHS, so this board is going to fill up fast between S, A, and B probably. But I'm going to try to be less biased to the best of my ability, find flaws. Otherwise, it'd just be a big S. So this is how the board shakes out after the first VHS movie. Nothing in D or F just yet. Got 2 S's, 2 A's, 1 B, and 1 C. So that's, I think that's pretty cool. Sorry, I was looking for something. Now we move on to VHS 2, which at first, the first time I ever saw the second VHS movie, I didn't like it as much as the first one, because back then, oh God, how long ago was back then? 12 years ago. So it was at 2013. I was still kind of not all about gore. I was like, too much gore ruins the movie for me. That's changed over the years. I mean, I literally went out and watched Smile 2 and Terrifier on the same day and then did reviews for them. But the second VHS, like I said, released in 2013, very different than the first one as far as, like, in my opinion, because they upped the gore a lot. They were like, we're going to really push the limits this time. And they did. So we'll start with the wraparound, which was tape 49. This one's interesting because it's the same house as the last one. You see pictures of the old guy, and I think, like, they're watching this guy who's leaving behind a tape, and I think he's related to the old man from tape 56. And this guy and his partner, I think, I don't know if they're dating or not. It might be his girlfriend. I'm actually not sure. They're private investigators, and again, you see boobs. You also see dong in this one briefly. They find the videotapes and they go through them. Throughout the video, the woman kind of starts going crazier and crazier while the guy is looking for certain things. Eventually she has a nosebleed. Eventually she dies. Eventually she comes back to life. And eventually, while he's hiding from her, he shoots her in the face. The guy from the tape at the beginning that's related to the man from tape 56 comes back. It's like a zombie, and he kills the dude. He tries to kill himself by shooting himself in the face, and his whole face is hanging off, but he lives. And it's really funny because the way tape 56 ends, which it's the tape 49, it's the wraparound, so it's bits and pieces, is after he kills the other dude, he looks into the camera with his face all fucked up and his tongue hanging out, and gives it a thumbs up like, leave a like. It was really funny. I think I like this one a little more than tape 56, just because I like the characters more, and I like the ending where she is possessed. The way she dies, where he's hiding in a closet and she just pops up. She's like, ha! And he shoots her. Great scare, great use of the location. And then, of course, the up-close personal of him. However, the more I'm thinking about it, I do think it still belongs as a C tier. Just because these first two wraparounds just aren't as good as the future ones that we're going to get with the Years trilogy and the last two from the last 2 years. But, man, they stand out as the classics from the first two movies. But in my opinion, tape 56 and tape 49 are some of the weaker wraparounds, just because they are mostly based around people watching the videotapes. This all gets better later in the franchise, but it has to get worse first. This is the calm before the storm, then there's the storm, and then everything is rainbows and butterflies and fucking sunflowers. So, tape 49, C tier in my opinion. Next up is Phase 1 clinical trials, and this is why I started writing notes, because I got this one mixed up with a much better future one. This is one where a man has a cybernetic eye implanted into him, and he sees ghosts. Eventually he meets a girl who has a cochlear implant that she hears ghosts, so she tries to help him, and there's more boobs. This one's really, really cool. You see lots of ghosts and stuff. This one, the girl he meets gets drowned. He dies when he rips the eyeball out, so he can't see him anymore, but the ghosts take him anyway, just because he can't see him doesn't mean they don't exist, and they shove the eyeball down his throat. So you get to see all of that. It's really visceral, what that part is. Seeing the ghosts was cool. Lots of jump scares in this, which I thought was surprising, just because it's a found footage movie. You don't see a whole lot of found footage jump scares. Just really good usage of explaining why there's cameras and stuff, which I didn't talk about that much. I don't think there's a reason to, but this was a great usage of, like, here's why there's a camera rolling, because he's got it in his eyeball. Once again, and I know I'm sounding like a prude, I'm only 34, but the fact that, I look back here at this one and that one and that one, like, I felt like there was no reason to go back to the sleaziness. Like, I get it, the character takes her shirt off and starts, like, making out with the guy because her gross uncle's ghost is following her around, and she knows that her acting like that will make him go away. But to me, that specific scene actually, like, bothers me, because everything's going so well, and then she's like, oh, let's just drink and I'll just take off my top and make him go away. And I'm like, I feel like that's unnecessary. Otherwise, this is really good. I hate to do it, but I really think it has to be an A. While it is good, it wasn't just that. Some of the, I guess the setting isn't for me. I do like his house and stuff, but there's something about it like that just doesn't resonate with me as much as I would like it to, as far as like where it's set up and how it's set up. So A is good. Remember that A is great, but that's where I think phase 1 clinical trials should go. Again, I just don't think it stands up as well to certain other ones. That's mostly what I mean when if I put it in A, that means I really like it, but I think there's other ones that are better that could end up higher here in S tier. So phase 1, I believe, is an A tier VHS segment. A Ride in the Park. This is the zombie point of view where a guy is out biking and then a zombie, he like sees a woman who is a zombie and kills him and yada, yada, yada. And he kills somebody and they start eating somebody. He also tries to eat his own skin when he first turns into a zombie, which I think is brilliant storytelling. Like, he's a brand new zombie. He doesn't know any better. And he's got a GoPro on, which is, that's a lot of cyclists do that. And then you cut to a birthday party, which is happening nearby, and the zombies come to that. There's a bunch of zombies and zombie killing and zombie turning and stuff like that. And the main guy with the GoPro, when he sees his face, his humanity comes back long enough to where he blows his head off and the camera goes flying. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff. Again, I feel like A is going to get overfilled. This is really good. I don't really see any issues with it, I don't think. I'm thinking really hard back to it. I didn't watch all these back to back or anything, but I have seen them all recently enough. I just don't I don't feel like it belongs in S tier just because, again, I think the movies get better and better. There's better use of stuff like this in the future. And I will say that there's like a scene or two where I just, I'm just not, I'm trying to, if I'm going to put something in S tier, I feel like I need to justify it. And while this is really good and I don't really see any problems with it, I don't think it's personally an S tier segment of VHS. I think it's part of the first couple movies, which I know I put some from the first one up here, but you guys understand why those two are up in S. This one, really, really good, but we still hadn't hit the peaks that VHS was going to hit later on. So, just like that, A Ride in the Park is going to get put right, I'm just going to write Ride in Park, right up into A. Okay, I'm back. Next up is Safe Haven. This one might go into S tier. I'll be completely honest. After all that explanation about why I haven't put any more into S tier, this one may be the one from VHS 2. I know I put 2 from the first one, but give me a break. This one is so legendarily good in the found footage world, just like Amateur Night. This is where a documentary crew is going to visit a cult, and I think it's called Safe Haven. And while they're there, the reckoning comes or whatever, and there's like an alarm, and there's a bunch of people killing themselves, and there's nurses that take away this woman who is pregnant. There's a classroom full of kids that you see at one point, and after the alarm goes off, they're all handed a drink. When you come back, them and the teachers are all dead because it was a suicide cult thing. And eventually this like minotaur is born out of a woman's stomach. It's all so good, so practical. I say so practical as in all the effects look practical. One guy, Father I think is his name, straight up explodes. It has one of the best creature designs that, again, would get better and better as the movies go on. Don't worry, we're going to be hailing later. But the creature design for the Minotaur is fantastic, and it's just amazing. The ending always makes me kind of do this just for no reason, because the Minotaur crashes the one guy who escapes car, and the guy who escaped got the girl pregnant. And so the Minotaur comes from the top of the vehicle crashed and says Papa, and the guy just starts laughing maniacally, but there's like a line of drool and a line of snot slowly coming out of his face, and for some reason that just gets me. There's also a moment in a movie called Hatchet that is like that, And while the movie Hatchet is gory as shit, none of that bothers me, but Drool does. Yeah, I don't see a reason for this not to go into S tier. It's just so well done. The camera angles are great. The gore is great. The feeling of insanity is there. Like, you start feeling like you're going crazy. So Safe Haven, I believe, very much belongs in S tier. Absolutely incredible. I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, the Minotaur design. The fact that we were going to get even better creature designs in the future is just amazing when you look at this Minotaur. Last but certainly not least is Slumber Party Alien Abduction, which is about a slumber party alien abduction. I love the ones that just, that's what's happening. Jump right into it. So it's literally a slumber party, a bunch of kids and their sister and their sister's friend and their sister's boyfriend are having this big slumber party. There keeps being loud noises, and from time to time, the kids catch the sister and her boyfriend getting ready to do the thing, have sex. They catch her and get her on camera and make fun of her, and then there's a loud horn noise and bright light. Later on, the kids get caught. Well, one of the kids gets caught being a teenager, and that's when aliens show up, and then there's abductions and saves and this and that, lots of alien stuff, and there's a dog who definitely lives. No, he doesn't. Most of the camera is, I think all of the camera, majority of the camera is from the dog's point of view. There's lots of other shots before they put the camera on the dog. Really, this is another one that's really, really good. It's hard to find any flaws with. Again, the camera being on the dog is really cool. The aliens look fantastic. But as one of those people, I'm not putting an S tier because they killed the dog. I don't know what to tell you. You kill a dog, you don't get S tier. What happens, in case you're wondering, is one of the abductions, they all start getting pulled up by a tractor beam, and the kid holds on to Tank, but he can't forever, so he lets go of him, and Tank falls to his death. If you watch the kill count for this one, it's hilarious how the host, which is Chelsea, just describes this. But it is really good, and it garnered a spin-off like Amateur and I did called Kids vs. Aliens. I've never seen it, mostly because I like this. I like this. I like the found footage aspect. Kids vs. Aliens and Siren are like regular, like budgeted films. So I'm not entirely, not that this didn't have a budget, you know what I mean. I'm just not sure I want to leave the world of found footage Lily, found footage Tank, which is the name of the dog. And I'm kind of happy in this world. So, but because you motherfuckers decided to kill a dog. Overall, it's just the same thing, especially when we have VHS Beyond to look forward to later. This was pretty much, in my opinion, the template. I know we had an Alien one in the last one, which was the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. But this one, I think, really sets the template for Beyond. However, I just do not think it belongs all the way back there. Slumber Party Alien Abduction. So that is the end of VHS 2. This is how the board ranks now. I'm going to try to put this up after each film. And now, unfortunately, we have to do this. Oh, I didn't pause it. I'm an idiot. Since I don't have an editor, I don't get to cut that out. You guys just see me be a moron. But yes, now we have to do VHS Viral, the widely considered worst entry in the VHS franchise because they really just kind of fucked it up. They decided to really pull away sometimes from found footage, and a lot of the footage that is supposed to be found looks really clear. Like, I know phones take really good video and GoPros take really good video, but a lot of this looks more like a movie than it's supposed to. So people really don't like it. The wraparound for VHS Viral is, without a shadow of a doubt, the worst wraparound. It's called Vicious Circles, and it revolves around people in a neighborhood, so it's multiple angles, which is cool. The idea is great. Execution is pants because it just never works. Everything looks really fake, in my opinion. Like when a cop gets hit by a car and I think one of his arms falls down, I can't suspend my disbelief. The coolest thing about this one is when a guy gets drugged behind this ice cream truck or van or whatever that's like driving around town and gets like you get to watch like his feet start to like disintegrate on the ground or whatever. It's disgusting, but it looks good. That looks good. There's also a part where there's another fucking dead dog. Y'all are pushing your luck on VHS Viral. They're at a barbecue where there's like a fight and there's like maybe a mini, like the grill blows up or something and like the camera cuts and there's this good boy, this little dog, adorable, with a fucking barbecue fork stuck in his head, and then this crazy gang member that just got out of jail kills everyone except the little girl with the camera. I just don't like it. It doesn't make any fucking... There's no... The continuity attempt for VHS Viral's wraparound doesn't work. Because they're trying to all base it around like, oh, all this stuff's happening while this chase is happening. And then the way it ends doesn't make any sense either. The guy... So, there's a guy and a girl, and his girlfriend, like, disappears. And he finds her... Or he finds the van that I've been talking about. And inside of it, there's videos from the other VHS movies playing, which sucks because it means they're trying to be in the same universe, blah. And she shows up on camera and says he needs to upload the video, and then he doesn't. So she starts like bashing her face against the wall. So then he hits upload, and then she kills herself anyway. But then he walks out, and she's already dead up against the van. Remember, this is the wraparound, so this is intercut with the other films. But that's how it ends, and then he looks at his phone, there's like a countdown that gets to 0, and then you see like, again, a movie shot, a shot that would be in a movie, not in a fucking found footage, of a city with its lights blinking, because I guess they're trying to upload a virus to the world or something. It's stupid, it's freaking terrible. I want to try to give it a redeeming quality because I don't want to fill up F with every single thing that happens in this damn movie. But it really is awful. Like, I like the idea. The idea is really cool. But it's just executed so poorly. And the fact that the barbecue scene I mentioned, I would have easily put this into like D without hesitation instead of thinking about F. If we got to see the gang member dude kill these guys, but he just like runs off and there's a bunch of and then they're all just fucking dead. And then there's an explosion, which means that him and the little girl are probably dead. So like, I didn't even mention that. I have to put it in F, right? I have to put it in F. It is horrible. The only redeeming quality I found is, like I said, the bikers with GoPros following their friend who's being dragged, and you get to watch him kind of get dragged. Yeah, no, I'm trying to convince myself to like not put it in F, just immediately drop an F for VHS Viral, but you guys need to understand how bad this is. So Vicious Circles, our first F. It will not be our last, but we'll start with Vicious Circles. Next up is Dante the Great. I have made jokes about this since I started this video. We're half hour in. This is going to be a long video, so thank you for sticking with it. Dante the Great is supposed to be about a musician who was like a failed musician and killed a bunch of people and then disappeared or whatever. And we're supposed to be watching a documentary, which kind of already ruins the whole found footage thing. But if you can let that go, that's fine. Okay, they're interviewing his last assistant. Turns out he has Harry Houdini's cape, which is haunted or possessed or whatever, and it has to eat people. That's why he has to keep going through assistants, which again is fine, all fine. But the way it's shot, again, it's like a documentary. And then some of the camera shots that are supposed to be for the documentary are like backstage shots from before he got arrested. Anyway, eventually, what happens is they decide they want to arrest Dante. His most recent assistant isn't liking what's going on, and she wants to follow in his footsteps. He actually really likes her, blah, blah, blah. She finds out about the cape, but then a SWAT team comes in. He kills a bunch of them using real magic, trades places with people, stuff like that. That's, again, it looks great, but at this point, like during the SWAT team stuff, even the director and producer of the movie said that when you get to the point of the SWAT team, we're caught up, and now we're watching what's happening in real time. Meaning, that they, at this point of Dante the Great, they've abandoned the whole point of VHS. So that immediately sucks. It's like, well, why? Why are you doing that? Why are you just, what is this? The most found footage part of this is after his assistant turns the cape on him, and the cape eats him. It's the dumbest looking thing you've ever seen in your life. There's like a home cam of her after she threw out the cape, which again she filmed herself doing apparently, or someone filmed her doing. It looks terrible. She goes home to put something in her closet, and the cape is hanging up there, and a little monster jumps out at her. That looks good. That specific heart looks good. The rest of it is trash. I'm putting it in F. I thought about it. I watched the kill count for it, and Chelsea, who covered this as well, said that she likes it. She likes somehow some of it and whatever. I don't like any of it. Some of the kills are really cool. He butterflies one guy's chest open. That looks great. It sucks otherwise. And just like with Vicious Circles, I can't just push it up because I like some of the gore. Dante the Great is just, it's awful. It is absolutely awful, and you will never, ever change my mind on that. Not that they'll ever see it, but if the people that made Dante the Great and VHS Viral ever see this, sorry, I'm just being honest. You guys know. You guys know. Up next was Parallel Monsters. Now, this one and the next one were both pretty good. There's only 4 in this one. We'll get to all that later. Parallel Monsters is about a scientist who's trying to create a portal, a doorway to another universe. He does. Him and his alternate universe self switch places, and the alternate universe... At first, it's kind of cool because you can tell that it's like a violent, satanic world. And I thought that was a great thing at first because the guy was like trying to figure out what's going on, and there's like a bloody heart, and there's other men there, so I guess it's also sexual. But then the guys' faces start glowing, and then there's okay. Sorry, I had to go take care of something. But this is where, in the other world, the satanic world, I'm so sorry, y'all. This video's already long enough. I'm trying to get through it, but there's 8 movies. Which is why I said I wasn't ever going to do this. But anyway, they have monsters for penises and vaginas. There. Moving on. I can't get through this sentence. That's how they are. They're like creatures with that kind of stuff going on in the other world. And everybody that we see eventually dies because the wife kills the husbands. Each wife kills the husbands when they come back because something happened with them. You all see the worst acting punch you've ever seen in your life. So when it comes to this one, now that I finally got through it, it's fine. I like the idea of parallel worlds, and the satanic world looks really cool. The private part monsters, God, I make sure my daughter's not in the room when I say all this nonsense. The penis monster looks ridiculous, but the vagina monster, I suppose, that actually looks okay. Like, the practical effects for both are fine, but the woman looks better than the guy does, in my opinion, as far as the practical effects for the creatures they're using for this whole like satanic world. Having an alternate satanic world is fine. There's even a blimp with like an upside down cross at one point that looks great. The jack-o'-lantern glow-in-the-dark face people don't look that good either. So this one I have to still give a D. The things I like about it push it up from F, which is great, but it does not need to go any higher. It's still not great and barely watchable, but it's fun enough. It's fun enough. And it's a foreign language. Those are always good. Next up is Bone Storm. This is a bunch of skaters, not a bunch, like 3, 4, maybe 5, that just want to find the best skating place in the world, and they're told to go to Mexico. I can't remember where in Mexico. I don't have all the notes written down, but they're told to go there, and they go there, and they do this stuff, but then one guy, I'm stuttering a lot because I got frustrated and I didn't realize how long this video was going to be, so bear with me. They find a sewer that leads out to a spot that's a good spot for skating. One guy falls, gets hurt, gets cut, and his blood goes into this satanic symbol. And there's satanic symbols and stuff all over this place, including a massive one in the middle. And after that happens, this woman shows up out of nowhere who looks kind of scary. Then a bunch of people show up. It's basically a death cult of sorts. They start killing some of the kids, and they start killing them, and it's a bunch of murder, death, and then there's a monster. Eventually, a beast that they wake up. It's decent enough. A lot of this is shot from a GoPro, but there's again stuff that brings it down. Like there's like music, like this is supposed to be found footage, right? Found footage. The whole idea is someone found this footage, and now we're getting to watch it. So are you telling me that like the police saw this footage and were like, wow, this is some radical skate stuff. We should add some music, some like generic rock and roll. It's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So again, while some of it is cool, some of the deaths are cool. There's a chattering skull near the end of it. Fantastic. It really does bring it down a lot. But this is probably the best one of Viral, in my opinion, because the GoPro thing, that makes sense. The whole cult trying to release a beast, that's very VHS. Some of the effects are a little silly, and I do giggle through some of this, but because I'm trying to be a unbiased person, but also want to bring my personal biases into this to a certain extent, I am going to let Bone Storm be a C. I think if you watch VHS Viral, I think you'll enjoy Bone Storm as its own thing. It's good. It makes sense as far as the filming. I think it's the best one of it. While it's still not great, I think it's the best one of the bunch. It's the best of a bad situation. Polish a turd, it's still a turd. But there you have it, Bone Storm at C. And before I leave Viral behind, I'd be remiss not to mention Gorgeous Vortex, which I always forget about. It was supposed to be another VHS installment, like it was part of this movie, but it was cut for whatever reason, and I've only seen bits and pieces of it for when people are talking about it, and it's just a straight up movie, like no found footage aspect whatsoever, and it's just this woman kind of walking around while weird shit happens, almost like a sci-fi commercial for a hair product or something, or like she's modeling. What I've seen is it would have been even worse than Vicious Circles and Dante the Great. Like, horrible, just doesn't make any sense. What the fuck are we even doing? So, with that, we say goodbye to VHS Viral. And with that, we move on to the scariest year of all time. Why is 1994 the scariest year of all time? Come close. My brother was born. All right, moving on. So, VHS 94. So, they went, after VHS Viral was just unilaterally fucking hated, they stopped making the movies for about, I think it was 7 years. This one came out in 2021. It was the reintroduction of the VHS series, revamping it, starting from the beginning, fresh, clean slate. This one has some of the best shit ever. It might be my favorite VHS, so don't be surprised if a bunch of these end up at S&A, which, by the way, I forgot to show you guys after Viral. Here's how we look. We got 2 in F and 1 in D now. How about that? So, on to 1994, Holy Hell is the name of the wraparound segment, where a group of SWAT team members come to this big warehouse that's supposed to be housing some sort of cult. They go in, bunch of VHS TVs, old school TVs with static and stuff. There's announcements going on. There's a bunch of dead bodies with their eyes gouged out. Throughout it, you find more and more people are dying. More and more of the security guards are dying. And then there's hints that the 2 women that are here are part of the cult. And then one of the guys, Slater, who I'm not trying to tell you guys the whole movie, so this isn't a review, but he ends up being in one of the VHS tapes, and he's the last guy killed. That's when the girls admit they're part of the VHS cult. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good wraparound. I'm looking back here, and I think this might be the best wraparound. It's a tie between this one and the one in 1985, which we'll get to. But this is a really good wraparound segment. Yes, it harkens back to VHS 1 and 2, and I put both Tape 56 and Tape 54 as a C tier. However, this one with the whole SWAT team aspect, the people keep dying, the way they work it into the movies, and the fact that the last kill, the final kill of the movie, the final kill of the wraparound, it's so cool. They smash a camera in the dude's eye over and over again. I think this is an A tier movie. I think that as far as wraparounds go, this is the best one. Again, we'll talk about the other wraparounds, but I just looking at the other wraparounds right now, and while 85 comes super damn close, I'm going to put 94's wraparound as an A. Because it is still just people looking for tapes, but the SWAT team aspect pushes it up, and the ending pushes it way up. So, Holy Hell, which I'm going to try to write in the smallest possible spot, will go ahead and be an A tier wraparound. First one going to A. Next up is Storm Drain. Say it with me, everybody. Hail Ratma. This is easily one of the best segments. I'm telling you right now, fucking S tier. This is another one that I've never seen anybody complain about. It is a great story. The camera work is fantastic. The creature work is fantastic. The gore, everything is just amazing. Ratma has become a beloved figure in the found footage world. It's a news broadcast where someone's trying to do some exclusives. They go into a storm drain. They get caught up in this whole thing. They're talking about people disappearing. And that's when you meet Ratma. Again, one of the best looking creature designs ever. One guy gets killed by Ratma's spew. The woman survives. And then on her job as an anchor, her co-anchoring position after she gets rescued, she gets moved up to co-anchor or whatever. During her little speech, she starts just saying Ratma over and over again. Then she spews at the other dude whose face just melts off and his eyeballs fall out. It's amazing. It's such a good effect. And then she says, she talks, the camera falls over because everyone's screaming and running away. And then the way it ends with her with a little bit of the black goo on her face, she talks about some sports game and looks at the camera and says, Hail Ratma. Bro, it's amazing. I have to write Storm Drain. I want to write Ratma. The fact that pretty much everyone refers to this segment as just Ratma or Hail Ratma. So, Storm Drain, S tier, just incredible. Next up is The Empty Wake. Now, this one is really good. This is about a woman who's, hosting a wake, obviously. But nobody wants to be there. The person was apparently involved in a horrible accident, and the dude, one of the guys had to piece him back together, except for he couldn't really do his head well. Throughout this, the casket, there keeps being noises, and the casket keeps seeming to move because there's a storm outside, the power goes out, comes back on, the casket's moved. One guy shows up to the wake and then leaves and apparently locks her in there when the storm shows up. The casket falls over, the guy's a zombie. He comes back to life. I don't know if he's a zombie, but he comes back to life with half of his head sitting on the floor. Again, it looks awesome. His body attacks her. Tornado comes in, destroys the place, and she leaves as a zombie. Turns her into a zombie. Great stuff. It is really good. I do think that it's not quite S tier. I like the idea of it just being these couple of actors and one actress. I like the claustrophobic feel of that. It's a scary thing to think about, being alone with a casket and then the casket starts to move. Of course, she's not paranoid, it's actually a zombie. The effects are really good. For me, it just doesn't hit the S tier. It's fun to watch, but I'm not cheering it on like I do every time I see Ratma on my screen. So, right, Empty Wake, right here, on the A tier. I'm trying to spend as much time equally with each one, which is why it's such a long video. We got a little ways to go too. Next is The Subject. This one is fun because it's basically a mad scientist who puts a camera head on a missing girl, kills her, takes her head off, and puts a camera on, a set of cameras on her as her head. Then he makes this one guy into a full-on robot, but he's monster, like a Doom. It reminds me of Doom. It reminds me of Doom. A lot of this is video gamey. A lot of this is fun. The SWAT team that shows up, they all have body cams or whatever. The gore in this is fantastic, but every time I watch it, I can't help that I lose a little bit of the found footage feeling with this one. Yes, he literally films himself, which that makes sense. But the POV of the woman who has no head and is replaced by this like camera thing that is operating, and then she puts like a gun on her hand, like a machine gun. Again, it's very video game. It's fine. It's fun enough to watch, but I don't think as far as the list we're doing here goes, I think it's a B. I really do. It doesn't sit right with me because it feels so much like a video game, which would be a good thing, except this is supposed to be found footage. Again, a lot of the footage makes sense. The SWAT team and I've repeated myself too many times. So I'm going to put the subject at a B. It's fine, but overall, I just think it's not as good as I originally thought it was. And last but not least, for 94, we have Terror. This is about a group of white supremacists who have seemingly captured this one guy that they kill near the beginning, but then they kill him again the next morning. Turns out he's a vampire, and it turns out in this universe, vampire blood, if it gets caught in the sun, they explode. They test it on a little rabbit, they take his blood, put it in the bunny, put the bunny in the cage, the sun rises, massive explosion. So their idea is to put the vampire in like this big box and send him to this government building and unravel him. The sun rises, he'll explode and destroy the whole building. Because the rabbit did such a good job. Imagine what an actual full-blooded vampire will do. Excuse me. The vampire eventually gets out, and one guy gets covered in vampire blood and explodes, and then I think the vampire kills everyone. Great creature work again. It's not one of those, hey, I have two fangs. His whole face opens up to be teeth. So it looks, again, brilliant. He bites one guy's whole face off. And then he stands, when it's just him and the last white supremacist guy left, he just stands at the top of this barn while the sun rises, so it explodes and kills both of them. This is where you see Slater that I mentioned earlier. So he's part of this white supremacist group with the vampire. It's really good. I'm not really sure what else to say about it. I don't think it's, again, I don't really personally feel like it's S tier, but I do like it. I like the portrayal of these guys in the 90s that were just like, we're going to take back the country and stuff like that. It's fantastic. It really is. I still think it's an A because it's one of those things much like, I think it's Emily, the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. I don't think that, while it's really good, and Tuesday the 17th, they personally don't hit S tier for me. So I told you A was going to get really full. But Terror ends up in A. And that ends while I'll admit that, one of them ended up in B while the rest were in A except for Storm Drain. I forgot what I was saying. Point is, it still may be my favorite one, even though I did put some of these in, I put one of these in B and they're not all perfect. But that does it for VHS 94 and kicks off what would be a year trilogy. And let's get to the next one. We move on to VHS 99. Best year ever? This one's a lot more fun, I think. I think in this one they decided that they were just, if it's going to be the 90s, let's just do some stuff. Because we start getting scary and crazy and weird in the next few. So VHS 99 doesn't have a traditional wraparound. It'd be the only one so far without that. In between each movie is like a stop motion movie that this guy made with army guys or whatever that eventually leads to the fourth movie, the fourth segment, so we'll get there. The first segment is Shredding. This is about a band called Rack, which is just all four of the characters' names, wanting to play at this underground underground garage bar thing where a band called Bitch Cat played, but then there was a fire and Bitch Cat was trampled and killed. So they go there, they play, they keep picking on this one guy for thinking that there's going to be spirits or poltergeists or whatever. And eventually there are. It has, for me, it was one of the most shocking first kills I have ever seen in a movie. I'd have to go back and rethink that statement with all the horror movies I've ever watched. But the guy, when they start taunting the ghosts or whatever, you hear, "Get off my fucking stage," out of nowhere, and one of the guys just gets pulled into the sky, and then all of his body parts, organs, and blood separately just crash to the ground. I had to pause the movie and stop myself from maybe throwing up. I know I sound like a wuss. That doesn't happen to me very often. That's one of the few kills that made me go, "Ooh, that's not great. I don't like that." But which means it's a great kill. And then of course the band members kill all 4 of the members of Rack, Bitch Cat. They're undead now. They tear the band members apart, stitch them back together, and then force their possessed, dismembered, and re-put back together bodies to play on the stage. It sounds crazy. This one's awesome. There's something I don't like about it, and I can't tell you what it is. I hate saying that. I really do. But every time I watch it, I have a really good time watching it. But there's just some things about it, like the way the characters act on some parts. It's hard to explain. They act like they should. I'm sure that these are how, I know that this is how like teenagers and stuff would act in the 90s. I wasn't a teenager in the 90s, but you get my point. But for some reason, it just doesn't work for me sometimes. The gore is absolutely fantastic. There's some of the camera work where the zombie things have cameras, but they're not really zombies. They're aware of what they're doing. They're not like undead, just, ugh. They're doing everything on purpose. So I'm going to put shredding as, you know what? I am going to put it as an S. I wasn't going to because I try to justify it, but I think it is one of the best ones. While some of the characters' actions aren't my favorite, I think it's all justified. I think in this one it's justified. I think that if I put this in A instead of S, it's just me trying not to put too many in S. But this is my video. I don't give a shit. I forgot to show you guys this. I just put shredding on there after 94. So imagine shredding wasn't there, and that's where we were. Up next was suicide bid. This is the one where what a suicide bid I think is where you just apply when you have options for multiple college, but you only apply to one. That's your one college. And the woman, the teenager, I suppose, that is doing this, she gets accepted as long as she does a dare, which is being buried alive. Then there's a storm, which buries her alive completely, and she dies. But then this legend of another girl that this happened to saves her. Well, doesn't save her, but lets her live on with her. And then they kill the other girls by doing the same thing to them, burying them alive. This one's fine. This is very much a fine one to me. Again, a lot of the characters' actions aren't my favorite, but it's justified because they're a bunch of asshole college girls that are doing an initiation, hazing ritual, more or less.
Sorority sisters.
Sorority sisters, there you go. I don't know. I don't think I like this one as much as I thought I did. Like when I'm watching it, I'm having a good time, especially when they give her a box. They say, don't open it unless you really need to. It'll give you courage. It's a box of spiders. I also don't like, this is going to be a hot take, I don't like how the other girl looked. I can't remember her name. It's like Guilty or something like that. It's like a really weird name. But I just don't, I think with the creature work that we keep getting from these movies, I think that this just didn't, for me, come up to par. Again, I'm being brutally honest with myself here. I do like the claustrophobia, and I also absolutely hate the claustrophobia. So I'm actually going to, and this is a surprise to me, I'm going to put Suicide Bid at a C. I just think it falls short on a couple different things. It's not a D or an F by any stretch, but it's right in the middle, right? I mean, technically there is no middle because there's 6 categories, but a C is average. It's basic average, while D is bad and F is absolutely fucking awful. Fucking Dante. Suicide Bid, I think, belongs right at average. It's fine, right? It's fine. Next up is Ozzy's Dungeon, and this one is going to be to your tastes because it is based on those old Nickelodeon game shows. However, what it's based on is that this one black girl had her ankle shattered on the game show, and her family, mostly her mother, was expecting her to win and be famous. And she lost and broke her ankle, and they didn't have the money to afford to fix it, so it's all gangrene. She's in a wheelchair. They kidnapped the host. They take him, he's bald, which made me laugh because I thought the hair while he's hosting Ozzy's Dungeon was his real hair, but clearly it's a wig. And they make him do some of the tests, some of the games, but they do it in a gross way. Like on Ozzy's Dungeon, you have to catch the boneless wing, or not the boneless wing, but catch the chicken wing in this kitchen, I just got nauseous. In this basement, they're making him catch the raw chicken, but instead of like throwing it at him, they're just smearing it all over his face. There's just a lot of, you can tell this basement is gross. There's one thing where at the end of the game show on Ozzy's Dungeon, the show, you have to go through Ozzy's immune system. It's just a little funny game thing. They rebuild that in their basement, and the host asks, "What's that brown stuff?" And do with that what you will. He doesn't win their little game, so they're gonna inject acid into his fucking eyeball. They don't worry. He takes them to Ozzy's Dungeon, where Ozzy's gonna grant their wish. That's what's gonna happen if you win this game show. And Ozzy's there's a guard who's this big, powerful looking woman. She basically lives there. Ozzy is this dude, woman, whatever, laying on a table with a massive stomach, living in this cave. And the little girl makes a wish, and then Ozzy's true form comes out, this crazy alien looking thing, and melts everybody's face. Because the girl didn't want to be famous, she just wanted to live her life. So she, I guess, wished everyone would die. So this one's really good. It is. I like this one a lot. I like the game show aspect of it. But it's an A for me. It is an A. It's not quite an S. I'm not going to change my mind this time. Stuttering again. While I understand in my own brain why shredding belonged at an S tier, for me, Ozzy's Dungeon is an A. It's good, but it's not great. It's got some cool stuff in it. It's a little gross, which is fine, but there's something about it that puts it only to A with me, and that's fine, right? That's fine. Next is the Gawkers, which is the one that connects to the stop motion stuff we've been seeing. It's this kid who's a nerd, basically, let's be honest. He's picked on by his brother and all his brother's friends, and he's trying to film a little stop motion movie, which is actually fun to watch, I think. But they turns out that they keep filming like themselves doing dumb shit. They keep filming this attractive older girl neighbor. She's probably like in college, while they're just a little younger than that. They're all teenagers, but she's probably a little older. They keep filming her at her home and in like her pool or whatever. They film this one guy delivering something to her, but then the nerdy kid, they film him getting taken to her house because she wants his help putting together her new computer because she doesn't know how to do it. And the boys, the other boys, his brother and their friends, have him... Sorry, I had to get a drink. They have him put a little camera in her computer, and it has a webcam. They just have him connect it so they can watch her webcam. Eventually, they're watching it as she gets out of the shower, and the guy that did it feels gross, and he just like, I don't want to watch this, whatever, but they keep watching anyway. She takes her top off, whatever, and they're like, ooh. But then she takes her hair off. Like, she just kind of removes it like a piece of clothing, and then a bunch of snakes come out. She's a Gorgon. She's Medusa. She's a Gorgon, or a Gorgon if you want to be all extra. And they look over at her apartment from their house, and she's clearly, you just see her shadow, but she's clearly looking through her curtain right at them, as if this has been her plan all along. She comes over, kills like 3 of them, turns the other 2 to stone. Good shit. This one's really good too. This one might be, I almost said it might be S tier, but I think it's A tier just because it's one of those ones where it is kind of a slow burn, which is okay. Slow burn is fine. But this one just, much like Ozzy's Dungeon, I don't feel like it's an S tier segment. It's good. I love the creature work, but That's how I feel about it. A lot of times it's just going to be a feeling with me where I'm just like, you know what? This was great. But personally, I think it might just be actually just good. Last but certainly not least is To Hell and Back. I have to try to be as unbiased as possible. Otherwise, I just say S and we move on to VHS 85. Because this is one of my favorite segments ever in the history of all of VHS. It's about these guys who are filming their friends, or these girls, these women, doing a ritual at midnight, which is always funny. The ritual has to start at midnight. Midnight, what time zone? Do demons know about time zones? Anyway, the whole point is they have to do this right at midnight on New Year's Eve, 1999, when we get into the new millennium. They go to do it, and they accidentally, in the middle of it, open a portal to hell, and a couple demons grab the guys with cameras, or one guy with a camera, anyway, and drag them into literally hell. It is a little silly looking because it's just like rocky area turned dark and red. But again, the creature designs are great. All the demons, all the stuff you see. There's a hilarious, I mean, genuinely one of the things that the first time I saw this, I laughed so hard I had to pause the movie. Okay, I'm telling you true stories. The guy with the camera almost steps under this bear trap that is like a bloomin' onion bear trap. It's got like 6 or 7 different rows of teeth. One of the craziest bear traps you've ever seen. He starts laughing. You hear a bear trap noise, and the smallest bear trap in the world has clamped his fingers. I lost it. So funny. They meet Mabel, who's Mabel, the skull biter. She's just another demon, but she wants to help them get back to Earth on one condition. They write her name in the Book of Witches. Long story short, she helps them get to the place where the demon that they're trying to summon is. She gets killed, unfortunately. And then they charge at the demon after fighting off some of the demon's guards as he's being brought to the real world. I don't know if the demon gets brought to the real world or not. That's kind of left ambiguous. The one guy, his soul gets transferred into the person they were trying to put the demon into, killed, and then they kill the other guy. But the other guy's bleeding out. He writes Mabel in blood in the Book of Witches. And I didn't know this. I just found this out recently because when a movie's over, unless I know there's a mid-credits or post-credits, I just kill it. After the credits of VHS 99, you can hear the same witches from earlier chanting Mabel, meaning that it worked. Mabel's now in the Book of Witches. This is really, really good. The only reason I won't put it in S immediately is because I have to look at it unbiased as well. Much as I loved it, it is a little silly. One of the weapons, this pitchfork-looking thing that a guy uses, really looks like he got it from Spirit Halloween. And I'm just like, I can't unsee that. Like, I understand it's a movie and budget and production, whatever, cut production costs for making it look the way it did, but it looked extra cheap. And of course, with the exception of a lot of the stuff, especially the giant demon, which you don't know if it's Satan or just a giant demon, a lot of the effects, as practical as they are, still look a little silly. So as much as I hate to do this, I think To Hell and Back, overall, my brain is telling me to put it at a B. While it is better than the ones on C, D, and F, I do not think it's any better or on par with any of the ones in S and A. So, and it hurts me to do that. It does. But that's only because I'm trying to be unbiased from a viewer standpoint. I don't want to be like, this is mine. Because if it was just me, this would be the tier list would just have, if I was doing this just based on my own experience, VHS Viral would just be written all out on F, and everything else would be S, A, and B. There would be no C's, there would be no D's. So I'm just trying to be unbiased while explaining my biases. So this is now the updated board from VHS 99. That A tier is full, I'm telling you, and it's only going to get better. Worse? I don't know. We move on now, as I forgot to open my notebook, to VHS 85. This is another one where it's going to be really hard for me to put too many below A, but I think I'm going to be able to do it. Obviously, this one takes place in 1985. This one has the return of the framing narrative, and they're in the next two ones as well. The framing narrative of this one is, like I said, maybe the best framing narrative up there with Holy Hell. Total Copy, which is about a shape-shifting creature they found, and each segment shows his development. Eventually he starts to like learn. Eventually he starts to mimic what one of the guys looks like that he's never met. So this creature can either read minds or see through walls or whatever. Eventually they go to, the creature seems to be dying. After it shows a lot of progress, it seems to be slowing down. It comes to life and they try to inject it with adrenaline, kills everybody, and then forces them to do jazzercise. Amazing, hilarious, fantastic, love it. S. Maybe not. Hold on, let me slow down. While Total Copy is brilliant, I do also think that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I think it belongs in S. I'm trying to convince myself to not put it in S, and I don't see why not. Each segment is really good. The acting is really good. The camera work is fantastic. I love the fact that Rory either on purpose or accidentally drags the camera with the guy, and the jazzercise thing makes me laugh out loud. So I am putting Total Copy in S. It looks like it is the only framing narrative wraparound to be in an S tier, so it's the best one. I said it was tied with Holy Hell, but honestly, Total Copy is the best wraparound segment, and I don't think it's going to be close other than Holy Hell being an A. We'll see when we get to the other VHSs. No Wake. This one was really good. This one was, I'm looking back at these now, for me personally, No Wake is the scariest of all of these, except for the only one that comes close is one in VHS Halloween, which we'll fucking get to. Watch my review. No Wake is a bunch of people on the lake. They're like on a vacation. They all, while they're out on their boat, start getting killed by someone sniping them or something from the land. It's terrifying to watch because they're helpless. And then they all come back to life, except for one guy. And the two people, there was a couple that stayed on the land, I guess, in their tent to stuff. You guys know. What sucks is the guy's name was Jared. Aw. But anyway, those two and the one guy are dead because they never touched the water. The water has properties that make you basically not die. Makes you immortal. This is another one where the effects are just fantastic. One girl gets like her face blown off, so her skin is just hanging there. One guy's guts have spilled out, and he's got to like hold them in place. Looks good, sounds good, and it is absolutely terrifying. This is the reason I didn't want to put Total Copy in S, because No Wake is absolutely an S tier segment. Mostly because it's terrifying. Like, it scared me, and it still does. To this day, the idea of being out on a boat and just getting shot is horrifying. So I'm putting No Wake in S, mostly because you can't stop me. No, I really do think it's an S tier segment. It's very scary. It's very well done. The effects look great. And at the end, this is important, they ask, since they're still alive, they ask if they're going to go kill the people that did this to them. And a woman, I think it was just like shot in the chest or something, says, no, we're just going to do to them what they did to us. And it's left ambiguous at that point, but we will get there. It's not ambiguous. Next was God of Death. This is an earthquake in another country. This is another foreign language film, which there's plenty of those in here. I probably forgot to mention some of them that were foreign language, and I apologize for that. But it's a news broadcast. During the news broadcast, there's an earthquake. Everything comes tumbling down. They take the camera with them because they have to document everything. This whole place, it might have been New Mexico or just Mexico. Either way, they see the whole city's falling apart. Eventually, you get into this like underground area. They hear a big roar. They find more dead people. More people die. One guy goes crazy after they end up at this altar to the Aztec god of death. I think he rips his own heart out, or the Aztec god of death shows up and does it. Either way, eventually the woman that's with them rips the guy's heart out, strips down naked, and brings the Aztec god of death another heart, and then the earthquake crushes her as well. Really, really good. I didn't like some of it. I didn't like the opening, mostly because they killed off a character I really liked. I know that's dumb. This is one of the ones where it's a lot harder for me to justify. Like, I get it. I'm trying to document what's happening, but to me, it just didn't work as to why they would have the camera still. I'm going to put this one at B. It's not great, and it's not S tier. So I think God of Death, while very good, is not great or absolutely perfect. Just me personally, again, another one I enjoy watching, but when it's over, I just kind of shrug my shoulders like, that was fun, let's move on. And we shall move on to Techno God is what it stands for. This is a one-woman show where a woman is showing us the future of technology, which is VR. She's got a VR headset and gloves. She wants to enter this VR world. There is there's a section of this segment at the very beginning where nothing's happening, nothing at all, which takes it down a little bit. And then she goes into the digital world and just makes a bunch of noise and yells a lot. This is hard. This is a hard first half. The second half makes up for it because the god of technology shows up, some sort of cyber creature, cyber god shows up, which is kind of interesting considering we just had the god of death. But it shows up, it like fillets her leg in front of everybody. It does something else. Does it tear off a body part, maybe? Anyway, just a bunch of gore and viscera happens. The crowd is getting covered in blood, but none of them are doing anything. And then when the cameraman comes up to check on her, her face has been like fried by the god of technology, I guess. For me, I don't know what it is, but this is another one I just don't care for. Even less so than the other ones I put in B. Like, it's fine, and I, for one, love the leg being torn up and all the stuff that happens to her in the real virtual world is happening to her in real life. All the camera angles are cool. I just don't care for it, personally. This is one that, because of how little I care for it, has to go into C. I almost, while I was talking about it, thought D, but it's not bad. I don't think it's bad at all, but it's just not as good as the rest of them. And there, like I said, there's bits and pieces of it that make me go, I don't know. So for me, Techno God has to go into C. Average. It's average. It's I. Ambrosia is the next one, which watching the kill count for this reminded me of what ambrosia salad is made out of, and I'm not going to repeat it. Gross. Fucking gross. What was wrong with people in the 80s? Drugs. It was drugs. Anyway, we get to ambrosia, which you see them making ambrosia salad. It's a family get-together. It's a classic family. Moms and dads and aunts and uncles and a creepy brother. He's not really creepy. He's just younger and he has a mullet. Everybody's having a good time, and they're celebrating this woman because she's coming of age. How'd she come of age? Murder. Because they have these tattoos with VII, 7, on them. They're called the 7, and they're basically a cult. Each member of the family has their own story about how they killed 7 people. That's just the initiation in this family, and it turns out that the most recent member, this girl, woman, whatever, I don't mean to, whatever, she was the one who killed the people from the lake. So that and this are intertwined, and zone out. Eventually, while she's showing the clip of all this, the cops show up and have to defend themselves, and later on, she gets shot and like in the chest or whatever, she gets killed on camera. I think the brother brought the camera in, but she shoots him because he's like, let's just turn ourselves in or whatever, and that's disrespectful to the family legacy, I guess. And she gets killed, but then she comes back to life. She shoots a couple people, and then she shoots herself, and then she comes back to life again. Earlier in the video, she was squirt gunned by a little kid, and she's like, where'd you get that squirt gun? And she was like, from the RV people. The RV was the people from the lake's RV, and the 7 had been painted on the side of their RV with blood. So it was a nice little connection between those two. First time they'd ever done that, I'm pretty sure, except for, I guess, in '94. But then you cut to another part of the video where they're filming the woman that said they weren't going to kill him, filling the water gun with water from the lake. So this was their whole plan, was to give the little kid a water gun. He was supposed to probably spritz a couple of them so that they would have to live no matter what. So this one's really good too. Gosh, I'm not sure I think this is an A. I do. It's fine. It's not as good as No Wake. But I like the attention to detail with connecting the two movies and everything. It's a cool idea for sure. But in the end, I just, again, personally think it's an A more than it's anything else. And last but not least, we have Dream Kill. This one's rough for me. Apparently, a guy keeps seeing murders before they happen, and somehow he can get them onto videotapes, and so he turns them into the police anonymously, so that he doesn't get in trouble. And then the police get the video, and a few days later, the murder happens, or a day later, or whatever the case may be. So it's a harder one for me to wrap my head around. It's fine. It's revealed that the serial killer is this kid's dad. Apparently, telekinetic stuff runs in the family. So, whatever. It's fine. There's a lot of the weird POVs because the guy can control it. He can see things before they happen. The final kill is the one that kind of makes me go, huh, really hard. This one I do think is just okay. So it is going to go into C. I apologize. It seems like I'm rushing through these now. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. I've got 2 more movies to do, and I keep having to pause to take care of stuff. But nonetheless, Dream Kill is good. It's not bad in any way, but I don't think it's an A or a B or E, especially not an S. So Dream Kill, we're going to put that at C, and that finishes the Year trilogy. And now we're going to head towards the more thematic VHSs. VHS Beyond is next, which came out last year. This is the first one I got to review on the channel, and man, oh man, this might be my favorite besides 94. All these are about weird they're not all outer space, it's just weird shit. It's like mostly outer space. But we're going to jump right into the framing narrative, Abduction. This one is, for me, it's one of the weaker of the wraparounds. It's not the weakest. It's not Vicious Circles. But a lot of it is just interviews with people that talk about UFO sightings and stuff like that. That's pretty much all it is. It's just interviews with people talking about oh, UFOs are real. UFOs aren't real. Most UFO footage is debunkable, stuff like that. And while that's okay, it just doesn't, it doesn't do a lot for me. And then there is some intercut footage of this one guy who filmed his last few days at his house before he mysteriously disappeared. The payoff is great. When they show the rest of the footage, they show the footage, which is not very long. They show it to the other people first, and they all react like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, how'd they film that if it's fake? And oh, that's disgusting. So it makes you go, what is the footage? And then you see the footage at the end. And again, this is the framing narrative, the wraparound, so it's intercut throughout all the other movies. It ends with an alien showing up in this guy's room and pulling a string with clearly alien eggs out of his mouth. And the guy is paralyzed with fear. The alien takes his helmet cam or something, shoves it down his throat, and you can see his esophagus or whatever. And then there's just a roar, like a really loud roar. It's fine. I do like that payoff. But I think this is probably a C at best. I'm looking back now, and I actually think this might be a D. While the payoff is really good, all the intertwining stuff, just being interviews about UFOs, just kind of, for me, it's the only, besides Vicious Circles, it's the only wraparound that kind of takes the momentum away for me. Personally, I just don't think it's that good, even though the payoff is perfect, which keeps it out of F. I realize I didn't do the thing again, in case you're wondering. There it is. The board updated so far. Good shit. A lot more in S than I expected. Up next would be Stork. This one, yeah, I just said there's a lot more in S. This one might be an S. This is a group of soldiers who work for something called Warden. I don't know what it stands for, but it's a thing where all the letters stand for something. Acronym, thank you. One of our brains works sometimes, the other one doesn't. So this acronym, these people, they go to find monsters. And there's all the, like 17 babies went missing, including one of the soldiers' children. So they go to this house where they think they are, and they kill a bunch of what are basically zombies, but they're called breeders. They kill them once, they come back to life with giant mouths, so they have to kill them again. There's a chainsaw, and then there's a giant alien stork. It's that simple. There's a giant alien stork, and they have to deal with that and other weird creatures. The stork is turning babies into baby storks, basically with little beaks. In the end, they shoot the stork, but it's still alive, and then they stomp its head in. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to put this in S. The gore is great. It is a little video game-ish with the chainsaw and stuff, so actually that probably knocks it down to just an A, because why is there a camera right, like kind of sitting on the chainsaw? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to go ahead and put Stork in A. I'm running out of room in A. Because it is awesome. But I put the subject in B because of how much like a video game it felt. This one feels enough like found footage, except for the chainsaw camera, to where I think it belongs in A. But otherwise, it's perfect. The creature design of the stork is just, I think his name's Pat McGee. That name was mentioned a bunch in the kill counts. Pretty much every kill count. Fantastic creature designer. Can't wait to keep talking about the creatures in these movies. The next one is Dream Girl, where a Bollywood superstar who seemed to just come into stardom overnight is filming a movie, and they're filming her dance number and everything. And these two filmmakers are trying to get an interview with her. Eventually, one guy gets in her trailer, gets scared by a mold of her face, and says, "Why are you letting other people tell you what to do? You're a goddess." And she's like, "What'd you just say?" She goes crazy, tears her hair off. Turns out she's a gynoid is the word I saw. It just means female. It's a cooler word for female android. She goes crazy, kills everybody, rips one guy's face off, wears it. Good shit. This is really good. Like, this is another one that personally I enjoy. You know what? I hate the fact that I'm going to do this, because I am running out of room. But this is another A, I think. I think Dream Girl belongs in A. I think it is a perfect example of how you can go from strength to strength in these movies, instead of the one being good and the next one having to be bad or worse than the last one. Personally, again, I like it a lot. So yeah, it's one of those things where, again, unfortunately, the framing narrative did like kill the momentum, but Dream Girl really does a really good job of picking that momentum right back up, because you're learning so much about Bollywood, and then the character design, again, fantastic. Really, really good stuff in this one. The next one is an S tier, no matter how hard I try to be like, oh, I try not to make too many S tiers. Live and Let Dive, probably, if not easily, my favorite segment in all of VHS. It is about a group of people who go skydiving for this one guy's birthday, and the skydiving thing is called Live and Let Dive, and they crash into a UFO, and there's aliens, and they all land in an orange grove. Aliens are everywhere. The aliens look insanely good for them being, I think, completely CG, because since it was a daytime since it was a daytime segment and the aliens were going to be in the frame so much, they did a really good job with them. The kills are fantastic. One of my favorite kills ever. We find a best friend with his head just ripped up. It looks really, really good. And then just like the aliens, the way their head splits open, the way they kill is a little over the top, but really good. I watched one of the reviews say that sometimes you can tell how CG it is. I didn't see it. Maybe I love this too much. I've seen it a few times. But it all looks really good. It ends with a tractor beam, an abduction, which begs the question, how the hell does someone get the footage? But it all looks just fantastic. Again, it might be my absolute favorite of the entire franchise. I just love it so much as I write it down. So I might pause this from time to time so you guys don't have to watch me write it down. But Live and Let Dive, S tier. You can't change my mind. Up next is definitely a takeaway from everything else. Like, you definitely do a major shift. It is called Fur Babies, and this is one of the most disturbing things I have ever seen. It is about a group of animal rights activists. I've been trying to pause this every time she's been upset. She's just upset. She's a toddler. This happened. So I apologize for the background noise. It's about animal rights activists that are trying to go after this woman who runs like a doggy daycare. They go to it. They have a hidden camera that she acknowledges with the craziest looking face I've ever seen. Short version, she's making dog-animal hybrids. When her dogs die, she's kidnapping people and then sewing dog parts onto them or surgically adding them. Gross, weird, horrible. Some of the people have already been fully turned into dogs. You get to see one of them run out the window and just rip somebody's throat out. It's creepy, it's terrifying, it's weird, it's great. I think this is good. I like this one. This is an A tier in my opinion. Again, I know how weird it is, but it's so well done. And the prosthetics for the dog people hybrids, they look great. They really do. They look like dog people hybrids. I don't know what to tell you. So Fur Babies, go straight into A. If you are still sticking around with this video, I am at an hour 31. Thank you so much for sticking with this. This is why I said I'd never do it, but I'm glad I'm doing it. Last but certainly not least, Stowaway. This is about a journalist who wants to capture the lights in this some state or country. I don't remember. I'm so sorry. Point is, super short version. She sees something land in a field eventually after doing a bunch of introductions and talking and calling herself names because she thinks she's a bad mother because she's accidentally filming over her daughter's birthday. One of her daughter's favorite toys, this little dinosaur keychain, she brought with her though. Eventually, she goes to figure out what landed in a field. It's a UFO. She gets on it. She's exploring it. She cuts her finger a few times, once by accident, once on purpose. And there's these little nanobots. The nanobots turn her fingernail into a claw because they have no human DNA, so they're just trying to heal her. Eventually, the pilot comes back. It's my knee. And she can't escape, so she gets taken into space. She gets taken into space. God, I can't talk. And then there's a moment where part of her body gets hurt again. She gets more weird animal DNA. Eventually, they take off into hyperspace, and she gets thrown off into the side, and you hear a crazy noise, which is the same noise that happened earlier when she pricked her finger on these lines or whatever. And you can tell that she probably got cut into pieces, to be honest with you. The camera is floating around and it sees her start to get turned into a half spider, half person because they're taking the spider and other DNA. Something else happens to her as well, and it just keeps getting worse. Eventually, she's turned into this mutant-looking creature with 100 teeth and bunch of eyes and legs and whatever. As the camera zooms into the little dinosaur as she's stuck in these forms forever. Again, how the hell they get that footage? I don't care. Stowaway is so good. I love the idea of it being one person, which I know I had problems with other ones, but this actress is really good. The idea of her getting abducted by accident, love it. And the premise, the terrifying premise, that these aliens have the technology to heal instantly, but they haven't captured a human. So now she's alive, but she's being turned into some other creature. I'm going to do it. I'm putting it in S. I think this is perfect. I don't think there's anything bad in Stowaway. Again, the acting is fantastic. I love the fact that she recognizes she's accidentally filming over her birthday, but then she's just trying to be a good mom. And then it goes from really, really emotional to really, really good to just scary as all hell. Excuse me. The coolest shot is the one she got of looking out one of the spaceship's windows at Earth. I don't know how they achieved that, but I loved it. Stowaway, another S. I keep forgetting to do this. Here's how we stand before we get to the last VHS movie. So, one more to go. Last but oh so certainly not least is VHS Halloween, which came out this year, October 3rd. I watched it on October 4th. I watched it the very next freaking day. This one is not for everybody. This is the most diverse VHS movie, I think. A lot of people said it's the most tonally consistent. I disagree. I think each one is majorly different as far as the tone it sets. The wraparound called Diet Phantasma is a lot of fun, I think. It's basically these guys trying to make a new soda. This scientist group trying to make a new soda. And they're trying to put poltergeists in it, like real ghosts, and they want to control them and stuff. And basically, every segment is them trying it and it going wrong, people being killed one way or another. Again, I fully reviewed this movie on the channel. You can go check that out if you want a full review of each segment. But people just keep dying. They can't seem to get it right. When they try to get a little kid to do it, they add less of the Phantasma, poltergeist stuff. So they give him 2, he explodes. Eventually a little girl takes to it, gets possessed, and then it is implied that she kills everybody. I guess that's what I read online. I was doing my research, and it's implied that something happens and they die. But I don't know for sure. And then the very last thing of the whole VHS Halloween you see is when they're doing the rundown of who did what movie, you see a commercial for Diet Phantasma because they got it made. So it's fine, but I do think this is a B, mostly because this is a lot like Dream Kill, where it kind of takes off the momentum, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying that because I ran out of room for A. No, I'm just kidding. I have room. But the difference between Diet Phantasma and Dream Kill to me is Dream Kill isn't that good overall. Diet Phantasma is fine. It's got some good kills, got some great... It's fun. It is really fun. And I love the scientist character. And then the little commercial at the end really sells it. So Diet Phantasma goes into B. Next up is, I almost said Stork, is Coochie Coochie Coo. Holy fucking shit, this one's weird. It's about a creature called the Mommy who basically turns people into babies. These 2 teenagers on Halloween night who are too old to trick or treat go and find this house that showed up out of nowhere. It wasn't there before, now it is, but they don't think that's weird. And, I mean, that's the short version. You meet a bunch of teenagers or kids or, well, not kids. Sorry, our upstairs neighbors. Teenagers or adults that were turned into babies. They freak out when they don't have their mommy. It's weird, but eventually the mommy takes them. Like I said, there's no happy endings. She gets control of these 2 girls. It's fine, but that's all it is fine. So I'm just gonna put Coochie Coo. I'm putting it at C because to me, I said it kind of sets you up for the whole thing because it's just weird instead of scary or violent. It's a little scary if you want to be scared by it, I suppose. You can be. But to me, it wasn't all that scary. And while Diet Phantasma kind of stops the momentum, Coochie Coochie Coo doesn't do anything with the momentum that you're supposed to have. It's supposed to go from framing narrative, the wraparound, to the first VHS segment. We're supposed to get you going. And for me personally, Coochie Coochie Coo doesn't do that. It's fine. It is scary and weird as hell, but I digress. It's a C as far as I'm concerned. Ut supra sic infra, as above, so below. It's Spanish-speaking. Foreign film is next. It starts as an interrogation of this guy who swears up and down that all these people that died, he killed them. Their eyes were gouged out, and a lot of their bones were broken, so the police are like, there's no way you could have done this. It's intercut with phone footage from the night that these people died. Excuse me. It leads up to them going to this abandoned place that his friend found a way to, and eventually there's this black phone that was not there when the woman went there before. Now it is. They say as above, so below 3 times in Spanish. Ut supra sic infra. The phone rings. The dude that we're interrogating answers it, starts convulsing, and then the cameras stop rolling. Well, they drop and stop rolling. So they make him reiterate everything, and on the walls are these upside down hieroglyphs and ut supra sic infra and upside down as well. He reads it 3 times. The cops brought the black phone with them. It rings, even though it's not connected to anything. One of the female cops answers it, or maybe his therapist. Either way, she answers it. He starts convulsing again. He spits up all the eyeballs from the people that had their eyes gouged out. He like throws them up, and then he gets possessed. Everybody goes to the roof. He goes up there, gouges all their eyeballs out, leaves, and they all fall to the ground. This is great. I think this is an A tier for sure. Gosh, I gotta write. Hold on. I told you I'm running out of room here. If you saw at the end of the Beyond segment, I'm low on room for A. I didn't think I put this many up in A, but I did. And this is really good. I don't think it's S tier personally, but I really like this one. I loved the eyeball thing, really caught me off guard. And then him being possessed and the bodies falling. The only silly thing about the bodies falling, and I mentioned this in my review, is that the camera falls first and then like something else falls, maybe the phone. But the point is, like, why did he do it that way? A little too obvious, but it's okay. I still really enjoyed it, which is why it's an A, at least. Fun size, S plus. No, fun size is absolutely great. This group of guys, these 4 adults who were at a party with no candy, go trick-or-treating. They go to one of those houses that say 1 per person. They take one. The one they pulled out is shaped like a perfectly molded dick. He's like, that's weird. He goes to take another one. All the candy has weird names they've never heard of. They get pulled into the bowl. Everybody goes pulled into the bowl, into this alternate world. It's like a factory. And basically, this character called Fun Size, who has this hilarious big red head and wears a suit, is turning people into candy if you take more than one. And one guy gets turned into candy, and you have to watch it all happen. One girl gets her face blown off, goes under the conveyor belt. The other 2 characters die as well. Fun Size has become a beloved character, much like Ratma. Hail Fun Size! But it's so weird, but it's so fun. I hate to continue to do this to my poor fucking board here, but I think Fun Size is also an A. While it's a little too silly for me for it to be an S, it is at least an A. The fact that there are monitors on this machine, I get it. They just want you to have to watch it. But there's so many images from that are forever burned in my brain. The ending of this one is really funny because a woman takes her kids, and one of the kids goes to eat something, and they taste something metallic, and it's one of the female characters' engagement ring. And then he's like, wait, I took more than one. You think that's okay? And they hear a noise, and the mom turns around, and she's filming, and the bowl is coming at them. So they're all probably dead. But yeah, Fun Size. The character is great. It's so silly and gross at the same time. Again, a little too silly for me, which is why it's an A. It's not a B by any stretch. Like, I love Fun Size. But boy, oh boy. Up next is Kid Print. Trigger warning, because I am briefly describing each segment. Like it's not for everybody. I did a trigger warning in my review as well, so one more time, trigger warning, especially if you have kids. I have kids, but movies don't bother me. That's just how I am nowadays. It's just a movie. Well, even though this one is unfortunately very realistic. I'll do the super short version so I don't upset too many people. It's basically about a service that a guy provides where he'll take videos and pictures for you on Halloween so that if your kid goes missing, because in this small town, that way you can find your child, because instead of showing them a picture from 3 or 4 years ago, you have an active video and picture. But it turns out one of his employees is using this to kidnap kids and fillet them. It's gross. It's disturbing. You don't ever see any of the younger kids get hurt, but you know your mind is racing knowing he does this. The innocent guy that you think is going to be the creep gets killed as well. And then I didn't even notice this until I reread some information. The last frame you see is of a girl screaming for help, and the timestamp is from November 4th, meaning that it's a few days after Halloween, and he is continuing his reign of terror. He hasn't stopped. So this one is really disturbing, but it's so good as far as like a movie goes. I have to continue to make my poor board feel terrible. I'm not going to put it in S. I can't bring myself to put it in S. That feels wrong, but it is an A tier segment. It is so scary. The gore is fantastic. I have a nice little spot here in S for the final segment that we are going to cover because it's an S tier movie, Home Haunt. This is about a father and son who have done this haunted house in town for years as Igor and Igor Jr. Turns out that the kid is now a teenager, hates his life, hates his dad, calls his dad by his first name. They build it for this year. The mom blackmails the son, basically, and saying, you will do this with your dad. They build it one more time. The dad steals a record from a pawn shop, an antique shop. When they do the haunted house, which also Rick Baker, like a legendary horror director, is in this. I didn't recognize him. But anyway, they go to the haunted house. Rick Baker plays a guy talking shit. They play the record, and actual demons and ghosts and stuff show up. Everybody just keeps dying in bloody, violent ways and hilarious. The hilarious stuff is with the witch. There's an actual classic witch, which is great. She takes the camera at one point and kills some kids trick-or-treating. And then there's a tease of a giant monster, which I said in my review is one of my favorite things and one of my least favorite things because I love giant monsters. I really wanted to see it, but also it's cool that they teased it. Home Haunt is S tier. I think it's perfect. I think it is genuinely the best one of this movie, and it's so good. It feels realistic. It's a fear that all parents have. I have it. I'm scared to death that my child is going to grow out of enjoying things with me. My current daughter and my upcoming son. I don't want that to ever happen. So that's real. And then just the first kill is Rick Baker getting surrounded by a sheet and exploded into a spray of blood onto his wife. Just bow down, round of applause, 5 stars. I love it. All the kills are great. The story's great. And again, that tease of the giant monster. And the camera being stolen by the witch. Why did she steal the camera? We'll never know. So, that does it. Let's take a look at this. See how many are in A? I knew a lot. There's only 2 Fs and 2 Ds, showing you how much I love these movies. Both Fs are from VHS Viral. The only D, this D is from VHS Viral, but this is the wraparound for VHS Beyond. Even though that's probably my favorite one, I don't care for the wraparound. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in C. B houses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, the biggest one, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of 37 are A tier. And S has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly 10. Check that out. Is that going to be the thumbnail? Probably not. I want you guys to get a good look at it though. That is my tier list for every single segment of VHS history. This is the longest video I've ever done. So, the most I've ever meant this in my life. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Do you like this list? Would you redo it? Do you want to see more tier videos from me? This is my most ambitious video I've ever done. If you've come this far, again, I can't thank you enough. I hope that the VHS movies never stop. I'm going to screenshot when I did that because I want this video. If there's a new VHS next year, which I hope there is, we'll do this again and we'll write all these down where they are, add the new ones. I personally hope VHS goes on forever. I hope that I'm 60, 70 years old and they're doing VHS 100 or something. Don't forget that this is a special video. I'm getting ready to take some time off. There'll be scattered videos, so don't forget about that. Happy Halloween. This video will be released on Halloween. I'm recording it about a little less than a week before Halloween, so enjoy your Halloween. And until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, and I will see you in the next one.